Words can express the way I feel about you. You light up my soul, I couldn't live without you. I swear they sales are straight from the cause, especially if they tryna play a role in that joint. So I listen to my heart like screw that. You make me wanna do that. Ring with the one neat thing, and ask you that. Question of a lifetime, in hopes that you'll share a life with mine. I know you dealt with the struggle and the pain, but don't compare me to him, cause we're not the same. Stop looking in the past, baby, let it go. Got a bright future ahead that you will never know. When I wanna be a part of that, we go together like a fit in a starter cap. On the road to discovery, I got shotgun. And shout out to Cupid, cause he got one. Ain't no mistaking, baby, I know that they drive you crazy. We got the Jodeci love. Forever, my lady, I see the stress in you. From the lies they be stressing to you. Demon scheming, trying to pour less in you. Son of a father, only recognize the best in you. That's why I do my best to get the best to you. Don't get it confused, everything ain't what it seemed to be. Them other chicks in the picture just add to the scenery.
Share your life with me. You know I need you. Share your world with me. Ain't no one else that I think about but you. 'Cause nobody does me like the way you do. And no one is ever gonna take the place of you. Ooh, yeah.
Baby girl, look me out of the eye. Look at me. I just wanna rather die. You know, help me through it if I get the time. Lock. I don't need a scared chick. I need a always be there chick. Bag it up, sell it for me. Lie on the stand, never tell it for me. Guys wanna, she got 11 buddies. Do the dot, cops, high speed chase. Move around out of town while we move apes. Chick bad, she a killer. Yellow tape. Head to the bum, just call it yellow cake. Low told me move, got a new estate. Grand state cut, so she see the snakes. 7-state tour, that's the great escape. Out early, but we hanging late. Take the money, get the pie for me. Young buck, shorty wanna ride for me. Take the shot, she'll die for me. Yeah, a lot of late nights cry for me. Gonna have a baby girl with me. Told her share your world with me. Yeah, I told her share this world with me.
Make me smile. Had to hang it after while I was in love with you. Share your life with me. You know I need you. Share your world with me. Ain't no one else that I think about but you. 'Cause nobody does me like the way you do. And no one is ever gonna take the place of you. Ooh, yeah.
None of these hoes ain't rockin' like Rosie. My pie, seen her and I. King High School, used to dream her and I. Replay the scenes without the dreams. If only I can see love without them jeans. Forever it would be love, more than 4 letters. Sorry for the pain, this is just a love letter. It's all my fault, baby, I'ma love better. Now a nigga sick all day, feeling so strong. Jay on the Instagram pics all day. Depressing and stressing, confessing it all. Feeling like I lost my dog, but in due time she can share my world. How I fuck with her, she can wear that ring. And I'm a nigga back, focus on the back. Made back nigga, sipping rosé. Focus on my meat meals while we bumping one lay. I don't trust a bitch in this world who control me, console me. None of these hoes ain't rockin' like Rosie. Love, yeah.
When I saw your face, girl, my heart jumped out of place. I was in love with you. I was in love with you. Share your life with me. You know I need you. Share your world with me. Ain't no one else that I think about but you. 'Cause nobody does me like the way you do. And no one is ever gonna take the place of you.
Yo, what's good, people? What is going on? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if my mic is clear. Hold on, let me check something here. Yes. Yo, what's good? What's good? I know it's been a minute since y'all either seen me or anybody from State of Gaming. Just have a lot of stuff going on right now. And I just decided to do this show just out of the blue. I dropped the link for Noah and Mello if they want to join while I got the time to do it. But it's been so much stuff, so much gaming news going on. I just want to pull up. I just want to chat with y'all. If y'all have any questions and stuff like that, I'll answer y'all questions and stuff. And we're just going to wing it and talk about the latest news in gaming and what's been going on. Okay, so I do appreciate you guys for showing up. I do appreciate you guys for hitting the like button and even sharing the show out. So we're gonna get it started, but you already know what I gotta do first. I have to do my due diligence and give you all y'all respect and salute everybody in the chat for showing up. So we'll knock that out, and then we'll get the show started. All right, because it's so much to talk about. I'll let some of you guys kind of choose what the conversation to be based on the questions y'all ask in the chat, and then we'll go off that. I do got a show I want to do with Noah and Mello, where I got some specific topics that I want to touch, because I've been, reading, researching a lot of things, even with the CMA, even with this whole Activision deal. Why Microsoft chose to purchase Activision at the time that they did it. It was a very specific reason. They didn't just jump on this because of the situation that Activision was going through. They jumped on it because of the timeline that coincides with something else that's coming down the line. And if they can close this deal before that, it's going to help them in other areas based on the timeline of certain policies that's supposed to go into effect. I might touch it today, or I might just wait for another show. But we're going to definitely shout everybody out in the chat. Who else? 22 was good, brother. We got Gogol. Hold on, let me make this because I got this up on the let me make that. Yep. We got Gogol Poe. I don't know Gogol Poe. I'm just gonna call you Poe. I ain't calling you Poe, but you Poe. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Barrios. Other Zinc was good, brother. One of the best bots in the community. He never waver at all. XB Black Ice was good. We got Batman, not ashamed of. You feel me? Snooky Jackson was good. We got Teddy Digital was good. Teddy JD's corner. He posted on whatever corner, but it's JD's corner. We got Travi, my brother Dirk Griggity with the $5. What up, though? Post up. Have a good show. I'll be listening. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Dirk Griggity and the We Bleed Green, man. They brought me on their show. They always bring me on their panel and show me love. I'm definitely going to get Dirk Griggity over to this platform, pick his brains on some things. I'm definitely going to set that up. He showed me support, so I got the return of love. And shout out to the whole We Bleed Green crew. Make sure y'all subscribe to their channel. One of the best up-and-coming Xbox podcasts on the tube. So make sure y'all tune in with them. Suicide Kings, what up? Wolf of Darkness, what up? Cold as ice. He's just cold-blooded. You feel me? Enzo, what's up? Darren James, what's up? Mr. Keenan, what's up? Swordfish, what's good? And anybody that's watching that haven't chatted in the chat or showed that you are watching, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for about to be entertained by one of the dopest to ever do it. I gotta, sometimes you just gotta give yourself flowers. Sometimes you just gotta pat yourself on the back. Yes, I am one of the dopest to do it, player. So, what's going on, man? Let me see what I can. It's so many topics. That I want to touch. And what I'll do is I'll start off with the most recent, news, and that's the 30-minute interview Phil Spencer had on WSJ Tech Live. Very interesting information came out in this interview, and a lot of information that people been wanting for years. Certain people been wanting for years, and we got that information, and now the goalpost has moved on that information. Okay, so it wasn't enough that he answered the question finally what people was wondering for years. Now the goalpost has moved on now that he answered. But so let me pull this up and we'll kind of break this down. Like I said, if you have any questions towards me in terms of what I think about certain things that's going on in gaming and stuff like that, just put it in the chat. I'm gonna be watching and reading, and I'll definitely answer it. Redfall marketing is picking up. They dropping new. I just think Microsoft is in a groove right now. I think it's in a groove right now, and I think they're setting up for one of the greatest comebacks ever. We can call it. If you ever seen that movie, The Greatest Game Ever Played, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those moments in terms of what they've been through last generation, how they started off this generation, the lack of first party titles that we've seen over the last 2 years, but the moves that they've been making recently and going into 2023 and beyond, I just see a great future. And then not only that, what they're doing on the back end in terms of the cloud. I just got some information. I don't want to talk about it because I got to ask that person if I'm privy to talk about it. And but it's something people would expect. But I don't know if they would have expected to start happening so soon. I just wonder if when it happens, if it's going to be a wide adoption rate of it happening. I think so too, because it's dope. But I'll just ask that person. I'll text that person and see if they'll let me talk about it just a little bit. Matter of fact, let me text that person. Let me see. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen, and then we're gonna start breaking down this interview. And let me make sure I can see y'all on my other screen. And let's see here. Do this here. Bam. Flipping FLP was good. Titus, what's up? Game Pass about to be $25 a month. Family plan. Fuck you talking about? You thought you had one, didn't you, Titus? You thought you had a friend, brother. You Merkenstein, what's up? You thought you had something right there. Yeah, it's about to be $25 a month for the family plan. And then we getting 5, 6 people up in there, boy. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? 4 others, 5 including yourself, and you can steal game share off your account. So that's a 6-piece spicy with mild sauce. What are we doing here, Titus? Y'all ain't doing shit like that over there at the station. Don't do that. Don't do that. Look at you. Look now, Ricky say he gonna put. Now look at you. Oh man, look at this guy. Deep Otter 9064. What's good? What's good? So I just sent that text. So hopefully, let me share this screen right here. Let me share this screen, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Let me see here. Share screen, and I'll get to window, and we'll do this here. We'll do this here because this is a great breakdown here. Let me it kind of goes step by step on the interview and what happened. So we can go, this boy just tried to see. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of people talk that Game Pass shit, but they subscribe to the service, brother. They are subscribed to the service. You know what I'm saying? Hey, flip it. I'm gonna try to get a state of gaming this week with the brothers. Hopefully tomorrow, Friday, we can go live with a state of gaming where it be more focused towards specific topics, and then we can go from there. Ozzy, what's good, brother? Lord Maxie, I just did this out of the blue because after I get done what I'm doing personally, man, I want to get on the rhythm with doing all this show. Shout out to Dirk Griggity, who had a real good conversation with me after we did that show. He said, look, Post, he basically said, you're slacking. You need to be more consistent with your content. And I respect brothers like that. And Z tell me the same thing. That's straight up front with you. Look, you good at what you do. You have great content, but you're too inconsistent. And that's basically what we told me. And I ain't getting mad at the brother. I say that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tap me on my shoulder and say, look, you need to get on top of your shit. And that's basically what him and We Bleed Green did. That's basically what Z been doing for years. So I'm going to really, really work hard. Noah and Mello been on my ass, on my heels about being consistent and stuff like that. So everybody getting on my case. So I'm really, really, really going to try hard to be more consistent with going live and giving y'all this this content. I really enjoy having conversations with y'all. Okay. What's up? Who we else? We got Iron Mike. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me see here. Look, Mac. The Analog Circle Podcast. What's good, brother? Yes, sir. Sometimes I just be having all types of stuff going on. You know, when you got 5 kids, you know what I'm saying? One out of high school, the other one about to be out of high school. 2 just got in high school. You still got 1 in grammar school. It just, the last one left in grammar school. It's just so much be going on and stuff like that. But that's no excuse because there's a lot of people on this platform that probably deal with more shit than I do, but yet they still get it done. So that's what we're going to do. So let me see. Okay, so I just got the go ahead. Let me see here. Okay, so they just gave me the go ahead. So before I get into this, this interview, I just found out that a certain company has done a deal with another company. I'm not going to name these companies. Well, the gist of it is that this company is going to have well, I'll say it's a hotel. It's a hotel. I will tell you that. It's a hotel. This hotel has now invested in Samsung TVs. They're investing in Samsung TV. They partner with another company to do the back end to provide the broadband pipeline for those TVs. So where when people come into their rooms, all they need to do is bring their Xbox controller with them. They'll be able to sign into the Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Live account from right there. Have access to cloud gaming, all of that, just by bringing their controller with them. After they leave, the way the system is going to be set up is going to automatically wipe their information from the system, so their account and personal information is not left on the TV. This company put a demo together. This company put a demo together for this person on how it's supposed to work, and the hotel in the business was amazed. I think that that is going to become. I think that's going to be the new norm. I think once PlayStation get their shit together, I think you're going to start. You already seen that. I think it was a Japanese hotel in Japan that had PlayStations damn near in every room for their guests. But this particular hotel, they're investing in Samsung TVs. They're going to run xCloud and Game Pass off those TVs to where the guests they don't have to jug around their consoles or even the Series S at this point. They could just bring their controller with them, and once they check into their room, they'll have access. They sign in with their account. You have access to all your content right then and there. Post up, why did you come back? Christopher Fart, what's up? What's up? I know you in the comment talking your shit. And post up who that on them R&B vocals? Christopher Hart. No. That ain't Christopher Hart on them R&B vocals. Actually, that was the wrong version I played. The other version we redid it because he had too many runs and shit. He was doing too many crazy runs and shit in the background of the vocals and shit. And then I went back and cleaned that shit up and removed some of that shit because a lot of that shit was unnecessary. That's that guy who sung on there name is Joe Robinson. He's from a singing group from Chicago. They were signed to Capitol Records years ago. This guy has worked with a lot of people. He has songs with Beyonce and stuff like that. Capitol Records went under a different management. They kind of cleaned out, and new management came in. When new management came in, a lot of the artists that were signed at that time got released or dropped. He was one of those artists. But him and his brother was a famous R&B group from Chicago. They was signed. They did have music out on the radio, everything. They was major artists and shit like that. And so I was working with him because I knew his brother before him. And then when I ran into him and we clicked and I found out that I knew his brother, you know what I'm saying? Then we went from there. But yeah. I played the wrong version. I didn't realize it until I listened to it. Flipping, I will drop the Broadband Bully Music SoundCloud. Give me a second. I'll drop the link. I post a lot of stuff on there. A lot of the tracks that y'all be want to hear is up on that site. So I'll drop the link in a minute. But yeah. This hotel is adopting xCloud throughout the whole hotel, and their motto is just just bring your Xbox controller with you, sign into your account, have access to your games, your cloud saves right there on the spot. When you leave, the system automatically wipes your personal information so it's not left on the TV, and then the next guest who sign in or come into that room, they have a chance if they have an Xbox controller or something like that. So I think that's a dope. I think that's a dope thing. I think cloud gaming should be strong on that front in terms of hotels and things like that. Quick access, especially when you go on those vacations and kids like that, you have them in a room and stuff like that. For them to be able to just have an Xbox controller either brought with them or one in the hotel, and they just be able to sign into their xCloud account and get access to all their content, even their cloud saves. That's incredible. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to start off with this interview, okay? We're going to start this off with this interview. So interview starts by talking about the Activision acquisition. I truly believe with every product that we ship our culture, ensuring that teams that are part of Xbox feel safe, feel heard, feel included, and it's critical. I think it's important for him to start off saying that, being that they're still in the regulatory phase and trying to get this approved. And I think so much has gotten away from what Activision was going through as a company in terms of the harassment, the sexual allegations, and things like that. I think so much has gotten away from that and focused on Call of Duty. We tend to forget about that as well, and the impact it'll have on that company if Microsoft can come in and clean everything up. He is asked, what happens to the deal if it's approved in the US and not overseas? Well, the term sheet states it has to be approved from everywhere. If you read the term sheet, the merger term sheet states that it has to be approved everywhere. So if one regulatory, if I'm not mistaken, but if one regulatory body denies it, then that fucks up the whole deal. From my understanding of the merger term sheet. Now, I could be wrong. I got to go back and double check. But from my understanding, because I know a lot of people was on Twitter saying, look, if the UK deny it, they could just pull everything out the country. They could do this. Nah, it don't work like that. All of these decisions is based off the merger term sheet. And from my understanding is the merger term sheet said it has to be approved everywhere. So if one regulatory body deny it, I think, and I got to double check this, then Microsoft will be paying Activision $3 billion, and that'll fuck up the whole thing. But Spence says he's not an expert on a $70 billion deal, which he's not, but he has been spending a lot of time in Brussels and London in FTs in the Federal Trade Commission, which I would assume with all the flying that Jim Ryan been doing lately. I'm sure Phil has been flying just as much. Discussions have been what I would say very fair and honest, and that is big for acquisition this side, pretty much. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty stuff. Let me see it. There's no doubt Microsoft was involved. Okay, that's with him agreeing with regulators. He want to play to their good side. Let's see here. On Call of Duty. He says, Spencer says COD is already cross-console, and so it makes sense to ship support across the industry. So why not with the next Elder Scroll? Why would that be exclusive? Each platform has exclusives. Nintendo has Zelda and Mario. Look. Let's get this out the way. I hate that when it comes to Microsoft, they supposed to share everything. It's like the media paint this picture as if they supposed to share everything. Elder Scrolls, yes, it's exclusive. Redfall, yes, it's exclusive. Just like Sony got Spider-Man exclusive and Wolverine exclusives and all of their exclusive content. Just like Nintendo has Zelda, Mario, Bayonetta. Y'all don't question them about why their games are not on other systems or in other ecosystems. Why does Microsoft always get these questions? Christopher Hart, Dirk Griggly is listening to the show, player. If he wants to unblock you, he will. You know what I'm saying? He will. That's on him. That's his channel. I can't tell that man what to do with his channel. Now, if he blocked you for a good reason. Look, let me tell you something. Dirk Griggly is one of the coolest people I know, bro. One of the coolest people I know. And he tolerate a lot of you ponies. But you might have overstepped, and he just get your ass up out of here. We don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You probably pulled up in that red suit, that same color as that red lipstick. You had your toes out with the sandals on, and then you had a Kango hat on. I don't know who told you to put that shit on. You was bare-chested. You didn't even have a t-shirt on under the red jacket. So you pull up to the show in a flaming hot suit, bare-chested, with sandals on, in a Kango hat, brother. We're not doing this. What are we doing, Chris? Shout out to my brother. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this. I can't even. Okay, there we go. Now I'm able to see it. Okay. Shout out to my bro, God's Here Greatness with the $4.99. Hit the like button, y'all. Definitely hit the like button. Now, let me see. Now, look, bro. You can't come to nobody's crib, knocking on the door, bare chested, vanilla color with sandals on, and the Kango, and you look like a pack of red hots, bruh. Hey, look, bruh. Hey, look. Who the fuck is this dude looking like a pack of red hots? Looking like a bottle of Frank hot sauce. We're not doing that, bruh. You can't do it, bruh. We're not finna look, man. If he unblock you, he unblock you, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But let that man. That bruh. Shout out to my brother Ricky Brown with the $10. Post block heart here as well. Thanks. Yo, look, Chris, I don't know what you doing to these guys out here on their channel, bro. But people want you gone, bro. But yeah, hey, look, man, you can't look. Let me tell you something. Don't. I'll just look. Look, I know your girl like that shit. That's cool. That's your wife, your fiance. Congrats, whatever. But don't pull up on the internet, especially on Twitter, with your feet out, with them bogus ass sandals you had on. That motherfucking K-Go from 87. And that motherfucking suit was red, nigga. That shit, nigga, man, bro, don't do that again, bro. And who wears sandals with a suit with no shirt on, bro? Like who taught you how to dress? Who taught you how to dress, bro? Who look, don't do that. Let me get back to the show, though. Let me get back to Jamal G say, hey, Post, what's the best monitor for Xbox Series X? Kind of want a curve. It depends on what you're trying to do. What resolution? Do you want 1080p, 1440p? Do you want 4K? Do you want 4K with 144 hertz, 1 millisecond monitor? It depends on that. What game you're, what type of game are you going to do? Is it going to be like competitive play? Is it going to be FPS shooters and stuff like that? If it's going to get FPS shooters, I'll suggest something with 144 hertz or above with the 1 millisecond latency on it. Yeah, you could do some 4K with 144 hertz. I have to probably look at something. It's so many. I don't know which one is the best right now, but you have it's quite a few. I'll try to drop some links for you. Reach out to some of my PC buddies who be buying GPU cards and monitors and shit every year, and then I help you out on that. But I won't forget. I'll do it before the show is over. All right. So let's get back to this. I never understood this notion that Microsoft, it's like, okay, they just spent 8 billion, 7.5 billion on Bethesda. You know what I'm saying? They have been kind of dry in the exclusive department. You don't think, given the exclusive status that Nintendo and Sony has, that those games shouldn't be exclusive to Microsoft, being that over the last 20 years, they've pretty much been dominated by Nintendo and Sony? They need a leg up in this race. So of course. So let's move on. He said Call of Duty is like Minecraft. When we acquired it, I think it was on 12 platforms. Now it's like on 22 platforms. That's crazy. No wonder why that thing's selling like that. Our intent is to treat Call of Duty very similar to the way we've treated Minecraft. I think that's I don't know. I think that's a good thing. All right. I do think they should treat it like Minecraft. But there's so much mixed messaging with Microsoft, because on one hand you say you want to treat this like Minecraft, have it on every system, including Switch, right? And then the mobile, because you're trying to get into the mobile business as well. Then on the other hand, you say, look, Sony, you have until 2027. We'll extend your contract until 2027. After that, that's it. Well, maybe in terms of the contract itself, they're talking about content parity, hardware parity, and the DLC and stuff like that, and not putting it in Game Pass until 2027. But after that, it's pretty much we'll continue to keep it on your system and things like that. We'll spread it around to other systems, but that content parity and that DLC and all that shit that you was paying for, that shit is gone. That shit is out the door. So maybe that's what they're saying. And not so much as saying that after 2027, we're gonna make Call of Duty exclusive. I think Call of Duty at this point, I think what they said it got to like over 140 million player base. That's crazy. And then recently with the Vanguard that they lost 12, I think they say 12% of that, which I think they said was around 40 million. They lost 40 some million users with Vanguard in the CMA documents and stuff like that. So that's crazy. So I think when you have that type of install base, you can't necessarily force 140 million people to your hardware. You have to embrace and do what you've been saying. Support people where they're comfortable with playing. And if they're comfortable with playing it on PlayStation, PC, mobile, or even a Switch, then allow that content to continue to be on those platforms. Now, anything outside of Call of Duty that say you may um, make a game that's a derivative of COD or something like that, a spin-off or something like that. Oh, that's exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. Warzone you keep everywhere because that's your money maker. You definitely want to keep the install base there to try to recoup some of that money because you have to think right now we're fresh up out of COVID. We're dealing with inflation, and now we're about to deal with a recession. And so, well, I think we already in a recession, but they're not gonna tell you. And so you gotta account for those things, and we don't know how long the inflation in this recession gonna last. If it's gonna last all the way into next year and stuff like that. So you'll keep that installed base there. You'll keep that PlayStation money there. You definitely want to put Call of Duty on the Switch. I think that's going to be huge to have Call of Duty on a hybrid, to have it on the go. It don't have to be 4K. It could be 1080p. It could be 720p, 60 frames per second. I think their player base don't really care about resolution. As long as the frame rate is there and they can play Call of Duty on the go, I think they'll be appreciative that the IP is on their hardware, just on their hardware, or finally on their hardware. And I think if Call of Duty hit Switch, I think it'll be fucking huge. I think it'll be incredibly huge if Call of Duty hit Switch. Why Activision haven't put it on there? I don't know. I guess they didn't want to dedicate the resources to it. You have it on PlayStation, you have it on Xbox, you have it on PC, right? You took it out of Steam store and put it in your own launcher, but you see how great Steam is doing, so you're putting it back in Steam. You have a mobile version of Call of Duty for cell phones and things like that. Why not put it on Switch? Who has over what they just hit over 100 million of them things sold? 104, 105 million. I think that is a huge thing. Okay. Garuda Legend said, post up. When you going to make another track, my brother? I love your music and you're sleeping on yourself with all that talent. Garuda Legend, I am working on a project now. I think, yeah, I know y'all just want me to put some stuff together, but like when y'all hear this shit, this new shit, look, I will say this. All the music that y'all been hearing so far, that shit's about 7 to 8 years old. I'm going to say that again. All the music that you all have heard so far, That shit's about 7 or 8 years old. I tend to hold on to a, a lot of my music. I get slack for that. But when you're in the music industry, you just can't push it out like that, especially back then. A lot of times when you don't think people are listening, they are listening. I've seen a lot of people put music out, just willingly put that shit out, and that shit gets stole. The idea gets stole. The concept gets stole. All that shit gets stolen. And you hear one of your favorite artists singing, singing some shit. But the only new shit that I've probably given y'all was the beat that King Blood did for me, which is the Smile joint. What I say on there? When I was like, I know Z, his pride won't let him slide, so I pray for him every time he take a ride. That joint is new, and that's not the full joint. That's not even the full song because I got two features. I got two features on that joint, so y'all ain't even heard the full song. I sent Z a snippet of that song. And he just threw it on the show. And so I stopped sending Z music because every time I send him a snippet of something, he'll put it on the show. Like, nigga, this is a snippet. You know what I'm saying? But I am working on the project, bro, a full project. And I promise you, the wait will be worth it. This is no bullshit. This is no Twitter shit. This is me fully invested in the music. Post up the track don't have to be console war. Just make a track about anything. I don't want you to lose your talent. You are lyrical, amazing. Your flow is flame. Thank you so much, bro. You will never hear me do rap about Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. I don't knock people who do it. You're not gonna get a Phil Spencer song from me. You're not gonna get an Aaron Greenberg or Game Pass song from me. You're not finna hear me do none of that. I mean, I don't knock people who do it. I mean, it's you could create certain lanes that take you anywhere if you do that shit right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't knock people who do that shit, but you're not finna hear me rap Phil Spencer and Game Pass. I'm not finna do that, bro. This gonna be a real musical project. It's going to be a real musical project. It ain't going to have nothing to do with no gaming consoles, no none of that. It's going to be on some real life shit. I think music has gotten away from that. Everybody's in the club. Everybody's out there popping coochie and all that stuff, all this and stuff. But at the end of the day, that's not the reality of the listener. You know what I'm saying? The reality of the listener, the people that's listening to this, they dealing with shit that's not being talked about. They going through growing pains that's not being talked about. They dealing with a lot of shit that's not being talked about because everybody's so happy. Everybody, yeah, we balling, we money and this and all that shit. We finna take it back. I'm gonna take it back. Just know that. All right, let me go through here. Oh, let me get this. Shout out to God Tier Greatness 84 with the 499. Chris Hot Suit was spicy as hell with John Legend's chest hair out and Pastor Joe's sad dude. Shout out to my boy King Blood in the chat. Yeah, that's probably the only new track that y'all got, but y'all haven't got the full other shit that I've been giving Z. That shit about 7-8 years old shit I did when I was young. And also that military tactics. That military tactics was new because Noah sent me that, and I dropped the verse on that. And then the other joint with old boy, I think I wasted that verse on that track, man. I think I wasted that verse on the track. But let's get back to it, man. We're gonna get back to it. Let's see here. J Dub with the $2. What's good, my brother? Here to support Xbox Trash. What's good, brother? Look at you. Look at it. Look, he can't help himself. Look at this. Look at this brother. He can't help himself. Even when he's supposed to be away, he can't step away. He just gotta be disrespectful from afar, brother. You send me one more text message, nigga, talking that Xbox shit. We gonna have some problems, Kratos. Send me one more message. All right, shout out to man Dink. Look, Dickens, Mick. I'm gonna just call you Mick, brother. Shout out to Mick with the $5. Dang it. Who unlocked the doors to the Blue Oyster and let Chrissy Hart out? Now we got to deal with Fruit Loop McGee again. Oh man, oh man! Shout out to Suicide King with the $2. Two infused, two infused. Look, you're a part of the two infused crew. It's levels. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it takes a little to gain a lot. I will always tell y'all, it takes a little to gain a lot. So I appreciate everything. So back to this Phil Spencer interview. Call of Duty treating it like Minecraft. I think that's the important way to go with the franchise. I think Call of Duty is one of them franchise that you will have to treat on the level as a Minecraft. I also think with the other content and IPs that Activision have that's been dormant, you can do some exclusivity with those. You can make the skate joint, uh, which the name eludes me at this point. You can make that exclusive to Xbox. You can make the Crash Bandicoots and all that exclusive Xbox, but you also can get those studios like Toy for Bob's. Hey, since y'all, like, hey, come over here and do this Crash Bandy, not this Crash Bandicoot, but this Banjo Kazooie that everybody's been asking for years that we haven't got yet. So, yeah, you keep Call of Duty, you keep it where it's at. You expand into more platforms and stuff like cloud, um, which I think it'll be huge if they put Call of Duty. What if they put? I think they might do the same thing with Warzone that they did with Fortnite. They put Fortnite on the cloud, and you was able to play it directly from the website. I don't even think you needed an Xbox Live account for it, did you? I'm not sure. I don't think so. That they just allows you to play it. I think they're gonna do the same thing with Warzone. I think they're gonna put Warzone on the cloud. Look at the numbers that they did when they first put Fortnite on XCloud. They had 10 million people. Now that number has doubled up to 20 million. So that lets me know Fortnite has been doing great on cloud. And I've played it on cloud. If you got a great internet, that shit plays wonderful. Think of Warzone, making Warzone accessible via cloud. I think that's gonna bode well for them trying to being that cloud is still in its infancy, but you're starting to set the foundation. You're starting to set the foundation because most Game Pass games are cloud enabled. Okay. So let's move along. We're gonna move along. We ain't gonna go through everything. He said, okay, so Microsoft lowered fees for its App Store on Windows, but not Xbox. Meanwhile, it criticized Apple for its commission on the App Store. Why? Spencer says consoles are sold at a loss. Phones are not. He knows that though that Apple power is hard to ignore, it just shows the market power a company has. If the results of you complaining about it is you get thrown out of the store, Spencer says. So yeah, I know you guys, if you don't know, on the iPhones, the xCloud app is not allowed on the App Store. Apple wanted them to put each individual game that gamers can access via xCloud, which is like over 1,000. They wanted them to put each individual game on the store. So when say you or I go and download or will have to purchase that game in this place, then Apple get a 30% cut per each game, right? Then on the Google store, um the xCloud app is on the store, but it's on there as a consumer product, meaning that Microsoft, they don't allow Microsoft to do in-app purchases. So now you understand what's going on with Apple and Google and the war that Microsoft has with them. And I know a lot of people saying that the war with Apple and Google is next. The war with Apple and Google started years ago. It started years ago. Look into the um uh what's that? The DMA, the DSA policies, the digital market agency, and the digital service agency policies that's going to go into effect. One of them is going to go into effect in May of 2023. The other one is going to be in effect by January of 2024. Then you have the regulators here in the United States. You have about 4 different policies that got some of the same verbiage as the EU policies that's looking to pass in the state, and it's all about gatekeepers. Okay, let me do this. I'll do this here. I will do this here. I'll put you. I'll put y'all up on something real quick. Let me see here. Let me see here. Oh no! I got it here. So I'll just read y'all something real quick. And this has something to do with what I'm gonna be talking about, right? So the DMA is a new European legislation that wants to ensure a higher degree of competition in the EU markets. The objective is to prevent large companies from abusing their market power and to allow new players to enter the market. It will designate some companies as gatekeepers because they have a very strong market position in some digital sectors and because they also meet certain criteria. Example, number of users, turnovers, etc. In the US bill, such as the American Innovation and Competition Online Act, the Open App Markets Act, or the Access Act, have a similar approach. There are many new obligations for gatekeepers, and one of them is to inform the European Commission about their mergers and acquisitions. So any future acquisition, even by Microsoft, Sony, post May 2023, will have an extra level of scrutiny in Europe. It will also affect other gatekeepers such as Amazon, Apple, Google, or Meta. Even Sony, Nintendo, or Valve could potentially be considered gatekeepers in the future. Okay, that's one of the things. One of them, the DMA, the DSA, and then the other, the American Innovation and Competition Online. The DMA Act go in May of 2023. Which probably be around the time that we should be getting finalizations on the Activision Blizzard deal. Why was the Activision Blizzard deal so important to Microsoft? The mobile market. What does the DMA deal do? It forces the gatekeepers, it's going to force gatekeepers to open up their platforms. Meaning that Apple and Google will no longer have a monopoly on the app stores, and they will probably be forced to have their device to support other app stores other than themselves, meaning their OS and all that stuff is going to have to change. Who agreed with this? Who wrote 2 letters based on the DMA, the DSA gatekeepers? Who wrote a letter right after they announced their deal, their acquisition of Activision to the FTC regulator saying we agree with all the new policies that y'all trying to put in place? Microsoft did. They wrote 2 letters. One letter was in May of 2021. A second letter was to the EU was in December of 2021. And then you have the recent one after they announced they deal with Activision. Look at the timeline. Why do Microsoft want to get this done by the end of their fiscal year, which is probably July? What, May, June, July? May, the DSA is going to be already in effect by May of next year. So by the time that goes into effect, you now have ownership of Activision, who has one of the biggest cell phone games in Candy Crush on in the mobile sector, right? So you're going in, you're probably building out your Xbox mobile store now. You probably already got that done, or a blueprint of it, or you're probably working on it, right? So you're going in to next year with all of these new policies that's going to change the way app stores work in how Google and Apple Store policies can apply or level the playing field on that. You're going in there now just purchasing Activision, who has King, who has a IP that is one of the biggest IPs in the mobile market. Y'all got to think, Microsoft, that's why they blitzkrieg Activision into this deal. And then if you read how the whole deal went down, that's why they acted so fast. This was the perfect opportunity. We need to get them now, and we need to get them before this DMA policy and before the FTC and the regulators policies, such as the American Innovation and Competition Online Act and Open App Market. Before these things go into effect, we need to grab Activision. Hey, y'all got, it's crazy. That's all I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna get back to the what's the name, but I got a whole spiel on timelines and all this shit I wanted to do on the show. So maybe I'll still go do another show and go into this even deeper. This is bigger than Call of Duty. This Call of Duty is Microsoft can't go into the mobile space with Google and Apple dictating how the market works on their device. They can't. They won't be able to do the things they want to do and make the money they want to make. They don't want to have to play by Google or Apple's rules when it comes to that space. So they're agreeing with regulators with this whole open app market. They're agreeing with them. And the reason why they're agreeing because they want the regulators to force Apple and Google to open up their platforms to allow other stores on there to compete with their very own. Okay. And buying Activision is just one of the first steps to put Microsoft in a position where they're gonna compete. You're gonna start seeing a lot of Xbox IPs go mobile. I think that Gears Pop shit was just a test bed. It's all types of shit, but we'll get to that another time. We'll get to that another time. That shit deep, bro. When you can really get to looking into that shit, you start to understand why they made the moves they made, why they had to make them so quick, and why they trying to get it done. By the end of the fiscal year 2023. And I think it's going to be done probably before July, right around the time that DMA Act goes through in May. And I think they start pressing regulators on Apple and Google, which they've already been doing over the last couple of years. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this here. We got Jiu-Jitsu 50. Great show. Like always, thank you, brother. And then we got another one, another with the fighter, a 10-piece spicy. Great show, like always. Thank you, brother. I'm just trying to get y'all Jews. I know with this whole acquisition and CMA shit, all we've been hearing about is Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. The real war has been warring for years now, and that's with Apple and Google in the app market, in the mobile market. That's where the war is happening. They're not worried. Look, we'll keep Call of Duty wherever, whatever. Look, we just need to close this deal because the bigger consolation prize is king in our ability to set up our own Xbox mobile store on Apple phones, on Google phones, and allow a customer to choose where they want to purchase their content. Because right now you only got two options. If you get on the iPhone, you're gonna have to go to the App Store. You're gonna have to purchase something through Apple, their App Store. That's it. Unless you jailbreak your device, but you're gonna have to go through Apple. Same pretty much with Google. Microsoft wants to disrupt that. This Activision deal helps them do that because now Microsoft can say, hey, we're in that market now. Right now, we're not in that market, really. Yeah, you can bring up Gears Pops. No. We're not a big mover or shaker in that market right now, so we can't really say anything. But after this Activision deal complete, okay, we in this market. It's some unfair shit happening right now. Y'all need to open this motherfucker up so we can compete. Y'all need to level the playing field. Y'all need to give um, mobile users choice on where they access their content, and that's what Microsoft is pushing for. Okay, so let me move this. Let me move this in. So let me get down. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna get down to what. Well, that's Keystone. Keystone got pushed back. They say it's a couple of years away. And they thought it was more valuable to go with Samsung, the streaming app on Samsung, since it's already the hardware and the TVs are already out there. You already have a pre-installed base there. All you have to do is update the TV and give them access to the app. I think that was more genius than trying to sell a a streaming box, a gaming streaming box to a market that doesn't exist yet. Okay, so I see why they went. Say, look, we stopped that Keystone shit. We just went with Samsung. Samsung has a huge install base with people who purchase their TV. The TVs, especially the 2020 TVs, you already got a large install base of people that own that TV already. A simple update and that install base have access to cloud versus creating a streaming box and trying to build the install base. Uh, and I think that was smart because I don't know how successful that stream box would have been. Um, I know it was supposed to support Netflix. I know it was supposed to support um, Hulu and things like that. But still, you can find that on a Roku box. You can find that on the Apple TV box. Even though Apple TV have their subscription service on Apple TV, where you can watch movies, streaming service, and you can subscribe to their gaming service. And you can play games from the Apple TV. You can link a PlayStation or Xbox controller to the box. And you can play games and watch movies and stuff like that. I do think Microsoft is going to do the same, but I think the numbers wise, it's not a big enough market yet for cloud gaming for them to do it. When cloud gaming start to establish itself, starts to establish an install base, a market where it justify a streaming box like Keystone, then I think it will come out. Until then, you use a already pre-installed base that's already out there. Samsung TVs, you get them exclusive rights over there for a couple of months or however long. After that, you move on to LG, you move on to Vizio, you move on to Roku, TCL, you move on to all these TVs, and you have that cloud app on Samsung, Vizio, TCL, all the motherfucking TVs out there, all the Roku boxes. You even start putting the app on Fire Sticks and all that shit. Um, you start doing that because they already have an install base of millions of people who use these devices every day, and you're creating a Keystone box to come in and compete with those devices that's already exist out of. So I like the move that they deal with that. I think that was smart. Now let's get now. This is where it really gets interesting. It says game prices are up at $70 now. What do you say to parents who are scrambling for the holidays? It's a high price. Spencer uses the Starbucks coffee a day argument, noting the price per hour of entertainment is good, but also he notes price of making games has gone up. We talk about this a lot that the price of making the game is on the level of funding a Hollywood movie, a big Hollywood movie. Um, and so I agree. The cost of games are going up. So you have to, at some point, you have to offset that cost. Even if you're $1 trillion company, you didn't become $1 trillion company because you was giving out charity. Nah, you didn't become $1 trillion company due to charity. You became $1 trillion company because you got that money coming in. So it was inevitable for it to happen. It was just a point of when. Okay, he said we've held price on our console. We've held price on games for us and our subscription. I don't think we'll be able to do that forever. Agreed. Inflation, recession, uncertain economy. You know what I'm saying? The financial system right now and everything is uncertain. So you're not going to be able to do that for forever, which I agree. I do think at some point we'll have to raise some prices on certain things. He said, I do believe at some point, he didn't say all things, he said certain things. Says it was important though to maintain prices this holiday. That's cool. Keep the prices where they're at this holiday. Also, you don't want to raise prices in the midst of trying to acquire Activision Blizzard. Come on now. Look, we not stupid. Yeah, Apollo Cooper, high sense too. High sense too. Eric 83, Apple and Google can't be forced to do anything. Brother, you need to go do your research and read it. They can. And they will. They can and they will. Because if Congress passes those policies, then every company in the United States will have to abide by those policies. Just like when the EU passes the Digital Markets Act. The Digital Markets Act. They have two policies. The Digital Market Act, which will come in, which will be enforced May 2023, in the DSA Digital Service Act, which could take up till January of 2024. Once those policies are in place, hold on, give me just a second here. Okay, I'm back. Once those policies are in place, Apple would have to abide by them, just like they had to remove the Lightning charge port on the iPhones in favor of the USB-C port. And who told them to do that? The European policymakers. They had to do that. Just like the hold on, let me see here. Where is that? What is it called? It is called let me educate this boy. Let me educate this boy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where is it? I think it's here. Let me check this here. Do this here. Yeah, there you go. And let me see here. Let me see here. It is called. Damn, where is it? Damn, I forgot the name of it. And I can't. Let me see. Privacy policy. Okay. I'll say. Okay, but okay, so I can't even think of it right now. It's crazy. It's just my mind just went blank. But it's just like recently, with the Data and Privacy Act that was recently passed over in Europe, that forced companies to have to give customer more access and more control over their personal data. Okay, the ability to delete it, the ability to download it or whatever, the ability to know what data is being, um, the ability to know what data is being saved, what data is being consumed, what the company is backing up, what they're collecting, all of that. They will have to. They will have to play by the rules. Eric, you can pray for me all you want. You can post up. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this means Microsoft is losing money, right? I don't know what that question is pertaining to. I don't know what that question is being pertained to. I was asking Eric 83 question about Apple and Google can't be forced to do anything, and I told them that regulators and competition markets can force companies to do what they want, especially if they create policy if they're trying to create policies to level the playing field to make it more easier for other markets and other companies to come in and compete. They can create policies to reshape how those companies do business. It happens all the time. What happens though is in the US market, you have this thing called lobbying, where lobbyists go in and you have companies like Microsoft, Apple, Google that spend an exorbitant amount of money to prevent some of these policies from passing in Congress. That's why I said if the American Innovation and Competition Online Act or the Open App Markets Act or the Access Act, which all have similar approaches to what they're doing in the EU and the UK with the Digital Markets Act, then yes, they're going to have to open their operating system in their stores up, and they're going to have to make it easier where um, whatever company wants to come in and set up their own store and stuff like that, they're going to have to make it easier for that to happen if those policies take effect. This is fact. This is fact. Now, will those companies spend the money? And when they spend enough money to lobby against those policies and prevent them from being passed, we'll see. I read something recently, I think a couple of weeks ago, that um, some of the things that the regulatory bodies was trying to enforce through some of that shit was off the table due to lobbying. So we'll see. We'll see. Paul, the state of play will be tomorrow. I will try to get up with Noah and Mello tomorrow. I did this out of the blue because I had time today, quick time to do it, and I wanted to get some content. I just wanted to get some content down, so I just did it out of the blue. Noah or Mello didn't know I was gonna go live today. I didn't even tell them. I said, look, I got the time. Let me just jump on. Let me just talk some gaming, some Q&A. Talk Xbox, PlayStation, and stuff like that, and then go from there. Lost media is helpful. Sham, what you talking about, Sham? Lost media. And then go post say that's why. Yeah. Well, you have to think about it like this. You have to think about it like this. You go from COVID to inflation to now recession. COVID already fucked up the timeline in which we were supposed to get a lot of these games. It pushed development back because certain companies weren't prepared or had an infrastructure built to deal with remote development, working from home and things like that. So they had to create new guidelines, new infrastructures, and all types of shit for this. So if they ever run into this issue again, they'll be ready for it. Okay, they'll be ready for it. So it pushed a lot of games, a lot of content back. So if some of your games ain't ready, then what you gonna do? You're gonna start remaking games or rehashing old games, and you're gonna do that until you get enough time to get the games out that you want out. It's the same reason why when the State of Play love PlayStation so much, forgot to name his own show. I said State of Game, man. I ain't no motherfucking State of Play, Alpha. Will get your ass out here. If I have a store post, nobody can force me to sell their items. Same thing with Apple and Google. Yes, if you have a store, but this is a digital marketplace. This is not a physical retail store. And also, if your store and your chain is big enough to where they feel you have a monopoly on that retail chain, and that retail chain is big enough to affect small retail chains and things like that, where you have the power to control purchasing power and all types of other stuff, then yes, they can force you to sell other people's item. They can force you to do that, Eric. I know you don't think so, but they can force you to do that. But if you're just a small retail chain that's small, you can sell what you want to sell because you're not big enough to impact the overall market, to control the overall market. Right now, Google and Apple have a monopoly on the cell phone market because anything that's purchased through an Apple device, you are forced to go through the App Store. There's no other option. That means you control not only that market, You control and set the prices, the percentages on what you charge the devs on downloads, on in-app purchases. You control all of that because everything has to go through your ecosystem. There's no other store on a Apple phone. That is called a monopoly, brother. In that case, regulators and policymakers, especially in the online market, in the competition, they can come in and level the playing field. Just like they did with Microsoft, with the whole Internet Explorer thing, and what they did to Netscape and all that shit. Just like what they was trying to do with the Windows Media Player. What did the governments bring? An antitrust lawsuit, not only in the United States, but in Europe as well. And what did Microsoft had to do? They had to make the changes that those policymakers enforced. So don't sit up here and tell me that Apple and Google could do what they want and get away with it. Nah. Because if they could, they wouldn't be spending millions and millions of dollars right now lobbying against some of these new digital market policies that's trying to change the way digital stores run and trying to open up the market for other businesses and companies to come in and be able to give customers choices on how they consume their data or their content and where they get it from. Because right now you're just getting it from one source. If you have an iPhone, and that's the App Store. If you have a Google phone, you're getting one from one store, and that's the Google Play Store. Two companies are all right to have. Don't need three juggernauts. Well, if you feel like that, there is a brother Eric. You're saying you have two companies that controls the distribution model on cell phones, right? That controls that model. Just think about this. There's two types of phones today, you can basically say. No matter which company develops their own phone, you still have two types of phones. You have an iOS phone or you have an Android phone. Even if Joe Smo creates a phone, more than likely, since the iOS is proprietary software, more than likely that phone gonna run off Android. Why? Because Android has a huge part of the market. It's saturated in a huge part of the cell phone market. You're not going to create your own OS because you'll be going up against two juggernauts that have billion more users than you, and it'll make it even harder for you to penetrate the market with your OS. So, what do most people do when they're creating their own cell phone? They use an Android OS. They use that platform. And what they do is they go in and reprogram it and make it their own to make it different from other Google or Android device. But at the end of the day, the foundation is still Android based. Now, do Android allow you to create your own storefront? Yes, because Samsung has a storefront app where you could download or make purchases through their apps. But the Google Play Store is so fucking big. Like I don't think you I don't hey, I ain't finna pause that. You pause yourself, flipping. You was thinking on that sexual shit, not me. Yeah, Android is open source. You're right, Freddie Wayne. Android is open source. It's open source. Yes, it is. But still, but still, in terms of the distribution model, you're gonna go through either Google or Apple right now in today's day for your apps. I don't know nobody that pulled up and say, "Yo, you got that new app off the Samsung store on your cell phone?" Huh? No, I got that shit on Google Play. That shit on the Google Play Store. I said that's where I download my shit from. I already got a Google email account, so once I sign into the device, it automatically sign me into Google Email, Google Calendar, Google Contacts, Google Play Store. Bam! I don't have to create a separate account to download from this. I'm already y'all. You got to get it, Eric 83. You got to follow me, brother. You'll see. Hey, Levon Casey. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. No. You got 50 Android tablets over there. You send me one. Thank the realist. Thank you. Android is open source, but that doesn't really help other phone makers. No, because Google and iOS is so saturated in the market. Like I said, you already have a Gmail account. And I'm pretty sure whichever Android OS you use, even though it's open source, I bet you it's stipulations and guidelines that come along with using those platforms, even though it's open source. What's the most easiest thing for you to do? Like I create this app store because my apps ain't got this, but I create my new app store, but I'm going up against Google Play and an iOS app store who have billions of users, who have thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of content creators already in their store. Me, I'm just starting out with this new store. How am I going to get those hundreds of thousand content creators to come over and support my store? When all the person have to do is just sign in with their Gmail account and have access to a billion or a million apps already. Why do you think Microsoft App Store is not successful? That shit lacked even a Facebook app. You couldn't even download the Facebook app for Microsoft App Store. It was certain apps, certain games, developers didn't even support that shit. You was forced to go to a Google Play or iOS device because Microsoft App Stores didn't have some of the basic apps that you could access on Google Play and iOS. Why? The stores are dominant. Developers going to go where the money is, where the install base is. So even if I create my new device with my own app, I got a fucking huge uphill battle. They a billion users ahead of me. They 2, 3, a million developers supporting their app stores ahead of me. And that's all shaped by the policies and guidelines that Google and Apple that makes up their store. So Eric, you got it. You got a lot to learn, brother. Exactly, Freddie Wayne. Exactly. So if Microsoft Store couldn't could come in and break up what you think somebody Microsoft is one of the biggest technology companies in the world. But their app store was dog shit. And then they have that many and then have that big of an install base for developers to support it. So you didn't get a Facebook app. Shit, you probably didn't even damn near get a Twitter app or Instagram app. Then you had to log on Facebook through the browser on a Windows phone. What are we doing here, Eric 83? You had to log on to Facebook through a browser on a Windows phone because they didn't have the Facebook app on the App Store. Facebook has over 500 million people that use it. And they said, fuck that Windows App Store. Yeah, Nokia. Well, Nokia has a lot of patents. Nokia has hella patents. So I'm pretty sure every time a phone get made, whether it's iOS or Google, Microsoft getting bread. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. All right. Don't sleep. And let me move along a little bit more. I'm gonna move along a little bit, and then after that, I'm gonna close it up because I'm gonna have to go get my kids. Okay, so it says certain things says it was important though to maintain prices this holiday. Spencer says he doesn't believe subscription revenue will grow dramatically to something like 70% of revenue. Instead, he says free to play is clearly the most popular business model. Xbox Game Pass, I think it'll stay in that 10 to 15% overall revenue, and it is profitable for us. He said it. I ain't say it. Alpha Will. He says, post up. How the other day you compared Sony buying Psygnosis to break into the industry to MS buying publishers now when they 20 years. I'm the game, the some bullshit. Look, Alpha. At the time that Sony brought Psygnosis, they were a publisher. So one that kills this notion that Sony doesn't have to buy publishers to be successful because they had to in order to come in and compete with Sega or Nintendo. Let's talk, Alpha. Let's talk, Alpha. That defeats that purpose, that whole argument. Sony don't have to make bad publishers. They built their shit for them. No, they didn't. They came in and spent $48 million on a publisher. Then they went around to 250 game developers and publishers, and money had it. They didn't start, as you all say, creating studios from the ground up. They didn't start doing all that shit. They went to every game developer, damn near over 250 game developers and publishers, and said, look, we need y'all on our system. That's all I was saying. Now, Microsoft is sort of in the same situation. Though they've been in the industry for over 20 years, they have been dealing with the dominance of Sony and Nintendo. Just like Sony was dealing with the dominance of Sega and Nintendo at the time. Microsoft, we tried this. We tried to do it their way. It didn't work. We tried to play dirty like them with buying exclusive content and stuff like that and buying up exclusives. It didn't work. Okay. So what we look, hold on. We're gonna do this another way. We're not gonna challenge them on their playing field. We're gonna create our own playing field. Now, with their over 20 years of experience, they have more experience in this field than us. They have more brand loyalty than us. In terms of pay to play, they're killing us. We can't compete with them on their playing field. This is our business. We can't compete with them on their playing field. So what do? We change the playing field. Game Pass. Okay. Game Pass sort of disrupt the pay to play model, but it still supports us at the same time. Because now you have a choice between spending $15 a month on a service to access these games, or you can still pay to purchase these games. Okay, we got our disruptor now, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, evidently, based on Sony comments in the CMA reports. Game Pass is doing what it's disrupting the market right now. It's disrupting a market that Sony has dominated over the last 20 years. Okay. How do we further attack? Oh well, okay, but we need Bethesda because now we need content. So now we know that this is a great disruptor of their market and what they've been used to over the 20 years. What we're going to do now is we're going to feed this machine. We have to feed this machine. Bethesda, come over here. Obsidian, in Exile. Okay, we got some. We pretty much kind of cornered the Western RPG market outside of CD Project, right? So now we can feed the machine. We can start feeding the machine that. Okay, what does these developers entail? Well, they have some of the biggest online RPGs and the biggest single player RPGs in gaming. Fallout, Elder Scroll Online. We make those exclusive and we keep feeding the machine because we need this machine to continuously be a disruptor. Okay. We also pretty much cornered the FPS market in terms of the most notary first person shooters. We already got Halo. We got Doom now. Right? We got Quake Arena. We got all that. Right? We need to continuously feed the machine. If this machine starved, then it will discontinue being the disruptor it won't have the impact that we need it to have. We need Activision Blizzard. That Call of Duty. We have one of the biggest shooters in the world. Also, they have one of the biggest online RPGs in World of Warcraft. Let's do a deal with Riot Games and make it where as long as you sign up to Game Pass, you don't have to grind for none of that shit. You don't have to pay for none of the premium characters, none of that. As long as you sign up to Game Pass, you get access to all that shit. We have to feed the machine. It has to continue to be the disruptor. That's what they've been doing, bruh. That's what they've been doing. Game Pass is a machine that needs to be fed. And the thing is that when you buy these companies, it's not going to happen overnight. right? It's not going to happen in a couple of weeks. It's not going to happen in a couple of months. It's not going to happen in a year. Okay? To get on the rotation that they want to get on, to where games are, where even from a first party perspective, where they constantly in the rhythm of pumping first party games into Game Pass, that shit is going to take years. But right now, well, with Bethesda already been there for a couple of years, in the other studios, you come around to like 2023, 2024 when things should start getting on rotation. But then Activision is probably going to take another couple of years to get Activision on the same rhythm as the other developers are about to get on. So it's all about timing. It's all about timing. Let me see here. Who is this? Okay, no, I'm looking at something. It's all about timing. All right. But one thing I want to do stress in here, he did say it's Game Pass is profitable. We've been told for years and years and years and years that Game Pass isn't profitable. And now they're moving the goalposts. They're saying, well, he ain't released no numbers. 15% of what? How many subscribers? How many it is? They could be just making $1 and they can call that profit. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. The goalpost just continues and continues and continues to move. It's a lot of other stuff he talked in here, but I'm not going to get into it now. I'll save that for some another show. If y'all got any questions, man, go ahead and answer them now. I gotta go pick up I gotta go get my children in a little while. I just wanted to come on here, do this quick show to get some content out. I had some free time today to actually do it. And so MK28 said, this is why Sony doesn't want COD on Game Pass. It will cause some of the user base to game on Xbox. Yes. Sony don't care. Sony cares. That's their main focus right now with Sony. They don't care about none of the other Activision games. They didn't name not one other Activision game. No World of Warcraft, no Crash Bandicoot. They didn't name none of the other games that is in Activision stable. The only game that they seem to be concerned with is Call of Duty, and they're more concerned with the impact that it has once it's into Game Pass. Meaning the Game Pass will be continue to be that disruptor. It will be an even bigger disruptor on one of the biggest games in the industry right now, which is Call of Duty. And if you give gamers choice on whether to purchase it for $70 or have access to all of them for $15 a month, you know where the choice that they're going to make based off value. Sony know the choice that they're going to make based off value. And so they're scared. And that's why they're trying to prolong it or prevent it from getting in Game Pass long enough for them to throw enough of those 12 games as a service at the wall to see which one sticks. Okay? I was Bonds, Craig is a multiplying kind. Don't forget, I'm listening. What else we got? Sony has its movies and music, electronic division. Yeah, Sony has its movies division. It has its music division. It has its chip imaging division where it pretty much create all the imaging chips for the cameras and all that shit. They still got their TV division and all that. From what I'm told, the PlayStation is supporting all of that. I don't know how one division can be supporting all of those divisions. I don't know how, but look, from what they told me, from what they told me, PlayStation is supporting all of them. Eric, what rhythm is that? They want to be able to release one AAA game per quarter. Microsoft said get into they want to get it where they can release one AAA game per quarter. And in order to get there, it's going to take time. That's not, and I know a lot of people press them all the time. I thought they were supposed to really. That shit is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take years to get everything aligned, get all the teams on the same page. You just got um Bethesda and you got Bethesda and what's the name and ZeniMax. You got ZeniMax, which is Bethesda and all them. You got them. You're still trying to get them in the fold. I got still things going on with some adjustments there, and now you finna bring Activision in with another 10,000 employees. So you have a lot of shit you're juggling. You have a lot of things ahead that you're gonna have to try to manage and manage well to get all of those 30-some developers on the same page and into a consistent rhythm. And that could take years. That could take years. I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna cap like it's something that can happen tomorrow. No, that could take years for it to happen. It took years after Phil Spencer took over Xbox to transition Xbox into the position that they're in now. It took years. Like when he came in, that shit wasn't gonna be a 90-day turnaround. It took him years to get Xbox where it is now, and he went through growing pains doing it. So I will suggest the same thing is going to happen when Activision. It's not all the time. It's not all going to be good. They're going to have to go through growing pains trying to get all of these core developers on the same page and pushing out content as frequently as they wanted to come out. Flipping, let me link this music SoundCloud. Let me see here. What's that? Let's say DM. I don't know what that is. Okay, let me go here. So here's our broadband bully music page. Usually, if a new song is playing on the show, I upload it here. You probably see some music on here that Z ain't even played on the show. Let me drop the link for you all. There go the link. That go the link to the SoundCloud, the Broadband Bully SoundCloud. You go listen to a lot of music on there. Some stuff on there that Z don't even play on the show and stuff like that. Probably be some stuff on there y'all ain't never heard. MK28, did Sony really force a parity clause with its third-party games between Xbox and PlayStation? Yes. Now you wonder why. And so that's why I don't really promote comparison videos anymore. It's really no need to do it because these companies are paying for parity and stuff like that. So you're not gonna see one console really trump the other, and you might see one console that supposed to trump the other look a little bit bad, look bad. You know what I'm saying? Look, it is what it is, man. Now you see why some of these games run the way they do on some of these systems, man. Money talk. And kind of, you're right about that. A lot of RDNA 2 features are not used in third-party games. A lot of them not. And that's what I was telling Z in terms of he's talking about the new systems. The Xbox Series X2 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I said, at some point they're gonna come, but they haven't really used any of the new stuff on the systems that we got. They ain't even really been broken yet. We've been getting remakes, cross-gen games, and stuff like that. We haven't really been really seeing anything that really tap in. I mean, Ratchet and Clank looked beautiful. It looked beautiful, but in terms of the gameplay, it was soulless. Spider-Man Miles Morales wasn't that big of a leap from Spider-Man. To me, it wasn't. And some of the gameplay was indicative of the first one in terms of the repetitiveness. What else? God of War Ragnarok, from what I'm seeing, is not a huge leap from the first God of War, and they stated that, with what they had in place with the 2018 version, they just wanted to improve on things, which I don't blame them. You already had a great looking game in place. I don't think you had to do something too out of the ordinary. You just refine what was already great, So I don't blame them there. If I want to look at something that really has blown me away, it'll be the Hellblade 2 demo. And even on that, I'm still sitting on the fence wondering if that's real gameplay. Is that going to be how it looks when I get it on my screen? A lot of times we see stuff like that, and then when we get the games in our hands, the color is not vibrant as it was in the demo. Textures looking washed out. The character models are not as crisp and graphically impressive as when they were shown on the control demo. So I'm still wondering if that's actual gameplay like they said, and if it's going to actually look like that when we play it. Photo Motorsports look good. I don't know if it's a big leap from Photo Motorsport 7. So these systems haven't really been doing nothing in terms of gameplay innovation. You've been getting more of that on the indie scene than you have on the AAA scene, which has been consisted of over-the-shoulder third-person shooters or first-person shooter games. Outside of that, they're going back remaking every goddamn thing. So I don't know, man. I think I just, the Series S is not holding back. The Series S when Cyberpunk got optimized for the Series S, it runs at a solid 60 frames per second. Okay. The new Modern Warfare runs what is it? It runs at 1080, I think 1440p, 90 frames per second, and then it runs at I forgot. I just saw it somewhere. I know the Series X is 21K60. And let me see here. But man, the Series S, look, these systems not being utilized like they're supposed to. So we'll see, man. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for showing up and showing out. I wanted to do this real quick just to go live. I know we haven't been on, myself, Noah, or Mello included. Like I said, I'm going to probably get a lot of flack from them for not informing them that I was going live, but I had a little time today to hop on, so I wanted to do it. Talk Q&A, just talk a little bit of gaming and show my face and stuff like that. Tomorrow, today I'm gonna talk with Noah and Mello to see if we can get a state of gaming tomorrow and figure out a definitive time to do it. And then we'll go live tomorrow with a state of gaming. I didn't go over all the gaming news. It's so much out of that. I didn't even talk about Brazil finalizing the merger. There was no appeals from anybody, so it's final and stuff like that. It's just so much other gaming news I didn't want to tackle because I want to discuss it with the guys. I know they're gonna be mad at me. I think I gotta yep, look at that. Noah Double Bell. Are you serious? Mello just sent me a message saying, "Are you serious?" So he mad I went solo. But look, man, thank y'all for tuning in. I'm finna go get the children and get them from school and stuff like that, and get them home, and they finna be in my ear yelling, making all this noise and stuff like that. So thank y'all for coming out. I really appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow for an episode of State of Gaming. It's your boy Mello and your boy Noah. And I'm going to try to be as consistent as possible for the time I have to be consistent. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love.
My niggas holding 30s like Terry Porter. Catch two from them 30s. Ricky Waters. Niggas won't beef, we add them to the order. Had niggas dropping. State of Florida. Yeah, they talking crazy, talking don't fade me. All I hear is money, this what it say to me. Never worry about a fuck nigga. Stay focused on us, nigga. It comes with the territory. Hate, jealousy, and lust, nigga. Got a pocket full of bad bitches. And I don't do trust with them. They give me head like a beanie cap. I'ma call like a genie lamp. Yeah, they trapping in the trailer homes. Call it bitch the FEMA camp. Pull up in the S-Class. Moving like a NASCAR. While I ride shotgun with shotgun. Call it bitch State Farm. Tell them it's whatever they want. Whenever they wanna perform. Get a standing ovation, destination. White lights and ambiance. A lot of niggas ain't trustworthy. A lot of bitches wear the same coat. Niggas dressing and talking like women. Put them all in the same boat. Let's go.